When my home is cluttered, my mind is cluttered. And I feel very stressed because I am subconsciously thinking about it all the time. Of all the things that I need to manage. I may need some therapy for this, or maybe I can just declutter and solve this issue altogether. Decluttering has always been a form of therapy for me. It's so freeing. Letting go of clutter is like letting go of emotional baggage, stress, and other attachments that come with our belongings. I realize the process of decluttering can be overwhelming for many, which is why I'd like to take you along with me today as I declutter and share some tips that I have learned along the way. One thing that has helped me keep my clothes from cluttering up is going through them at the end of each season. I ask myself, have I worn this item? Or do I feel good in this item? If I'm unsure, I will hold on to it until that season arrives again. Then I usually know for sure how I feel about it by then. I also like to store my off-season clothing in bins and place them at the top of my closet. I do this for 2 reasons. Number 1, there just isn't enough room in my closet for both seasons, and this is the only space I use for all of my clothing. Over a year ago, I got rid of my dresser and just consolidated everything into this space, and it worked out pretty good. The second reason is because it is always so exciting to get my clothes out each season, which feels like a shopping spree, and I usually have forgotten about some of my items, and I've always noticed I get sick of my clothes whenever I see them all the time. Here are all of my summer clothes that I had in my bins from last summer. I'm going to keep these guys, maybe add 1 or 2 more items, but otherwise I think I can make this stretch the whole summer. One thing I started doing is just trying to work on smaller areas at a time and taking breaks in between areas. One day I may do one closet and the next another. This eliminates me from being overwhelmed and being completely exhausted, which also allows me to really focus on what I'm doing and think through these decisions. So I have been attempting to declutter this area, which is from my basement, 3 times now. I pulled everything out, put it on the table, so I know what I want to get rid of. But the problem is we would have company coming and need to use the basement, and I couldn't have the stuff out to organize and sort. So I'd throw it all back in there. And today we're going to reorganize and declutter for good. Okay, so the next thing I'll be decluttering is my bathroom makeup. As I decluttered my makeup, I found that the items I ended up getting rid of were items I tried and didn't like, or I'm not currently using because I found something I liked more. And the reasons I was holding on to them were because I thought I may use it later, or I spent too much money on it and feel like I'm throwing that money away. But the reality is, I'm paying X amount of dollars to clutter up my space and cause me more stress and decision fatigue. Switching my mindset really puts things in perspective.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Now while we're at it, let's go ahead and start de-junking my vehicle. No, what is this?
It sound right, boys.
The next area I'm decluttering is the linen closet. The linen closet can be super tricky because how many pillows and blankets does one really need? I personally keep none to one extra set of bedding per bed. That keeps me on my toes when it comes to washing bedding and simplifies this process for me. The tricky part for me is that I have been hosting a lot in the past year. So I use air mattresses and need additional bedding for those beds, as well as extra pillows for our guests. I just feel that less is more in most cases, and try to keep things really simple around here so I have less to manage. If you have found today's video helpful and would like to watch another, check out my last video right here.